our council chambers. You know, today is actually this week is National Justice Week that the Kamloops Indian Band declared this week. National Justice Week. We've actually hosted the national conference on restorative justice up at ORA, the Kamloops Convention Center. So this week and today we are launching our class action suit for redress for our day scholars, and we've partnered with Seashell Indian Band to you know, work on compensation and in our class action suit for our greatest resource, which is our people. And you know, it's about seeking fairness for loss of culture, language, identity, and the teachings for our people that attend the day scholars. I think when we look at the day scholar issue, we look at it as a huge challenge, but we you know, we seek positive resolution for, you know, our greatest resource, our people. And you know, this has been a very long time coming for our people that were excluded from the common experience payment, and you know, we're really looking at you know, taking our power back for our people and building upon, you know, a process that you know, seeks fairness for our people.
How many people do you think this affects? Have you got a number as to how many will be involved?
Well, Kamloops Indian Band, I believe we're about 200 plus that affects Kamloops Indian Band specifically. Seashell is about
probably close to about 140, maybe more. There's probably more.
But I think nationally, there's you know, it's a huge issue nationally with many communities that were excluded, and you know, really we're starting from a grassroots level in our community, and you know, launching the class action, you know, based with you know, our two communities partnering, and you know, gonna, you know, take a look at getting compensation for our people.
Shane, can you put the little machine in front of Sean? Yeah, I saw it. Okay, Sean is. Can you move in?
Yep.
As president of the Assembly of First Nations, I don't. You weren't. Well, the original compensation agreement was negotiated in 2008. This would seem to be more common sense than anything, just because you went to school during the day and went home at night. So I'm wondering why, in your opinion, residential day scholars were left out of the compensation agreement in the first place. It seems to be very just common sense, right?
I couldn't answer why day scholars weren't included in that first agreement. That would have to come from others who maybe were directly involved, or legal scholars for maybe the reasons. But nonetheless, I'm here to express my full support and stand in solidarity and with the nations who are leading this effort. And the message is for no one to be left behind. That certainly residential schools, as the Prime Minister reflected in his apology in 2008, should have never, is a process that should never have happened, and it must never happen again. And certainly, as is one of the key teachings and shared values amongst First Nations, is that everyone must be included. And so during this Kamloops First Nations week that they've launched here around restoring justice in their communities, this is about restorative justice. This is about healing amongst those who went to the same buildings here next door as those who, you know, were living in the schools themselves. And I have relatives who came to this very school here in Kamloops, and to know that there are fellow students who were not connected with a settlement, it leaves people out. And so, you know, it means that there's a disconnection once again between and amongst First Nations, which is not a First Nations doing. Similarly, residential schools toward children right from the arms of families, and so the disconnection of families seemingly continues. So this is a big effort to make sure that no one's left out, and that going forward, that we're going to not only stand in support of the First Nations, but ensure that it's communicated across the country that it's really important to stand in solidarity on this issue.
Sean, I know there's 340 members if you include Chief Peschuk and the Kamloops Indian Band, but I'm told if precedent setting, it could affect thousands of residential day school scholars, maybe 19 perhaps, across the country. Would it be that sort of a precedent-setting decision in a class action lawsuit?
I think it has the potential to be just that, very much setting an important precedent. But I think what has to be really focused on here is that it's the two First Nations that are launching this in support of their people. And this is where the work must begin. It must begin in the communities. It must begin leaders expressing their support for their people. And I'm very hopeful that that sentiment, that notion will grow. And I know that the leaders are speaking with other nations, and we have other senior leaders here from British Columbia. And so it's going to be a matter of ensuring that the leaders understand that there is a way forward to stand in solidarity with one another. And I think that's important leadership. The Assembly of First Nations is not the holder of title and rights, nor the signatory to treaties. And so the Assembly of First Nations is an advocacy body, and we're there to support and advocate alongside with First Nations governments. They are the ones who have the rightful responsibility to support and advocate for their citizens, and it's my responsibility to stand in strong support of that.
Yeah.
Could you be more